It's jungle time again. It's part 2 of the jungle, and we're going to talk this time about what happens during the training phase of the jungle. So the way it's broken down, you're going to spend 3 weeks training, 3 weeks on exercise, más o menos, more or less, that means in Spanish, all right? So let's have a quick talk about where we got to get here, all right? We've been through the trees, aptitude. We've had a little bit of time in Hereford. We've had some training in and some acclimatisation actually in Brunei, and now we've deployed and we're in the trees. We're tactical. The whole time you're in there. Webbing and weapon goes everywhere. Okay? If you get stood to, you have to go to an ERV, and that is an absolute pain, I can tell you now. And if you mess up, you will be getting stood to. So all these stuffs are now into play. I can tell you now that in the jungle it rains every day at least once, probably twice. And when it does, you get absolutely saturated. You've got to try and keep your wet kit on during the day and your dry kit at night and your dry kit dry, because otherwise you are going to suffer. All right? There's insects. Mad insects everywhere, biting you, stinging you. There's hooks and claws on the trees. Everything in the jungle wants a bit of you. Everything wants you to not be passing the jungle. Everything wants you to go home. You do not belong in the jungle. You should not be there, and that's the way that nature looks at you, all right? So everything wants you out of there, okay? So you've got all these natural pressures. You've then got the sword of Damocles from the DS hanging over your head the whole time. They could bin you at a minute's notice. There you go, gone. You don't even know where they are half the time. They could be hiding in the trees just waiting for you to do something stupid, and then they'll just go, see you, off you go home, all right? It's mad. It's crazy. So, although they can't have a real enemy coming after you, the pressures that are put on you by having the DS watching you the whole time and having this threat of going home and failing is immense, enormous. You know, the fear of failure for me outweighs the fear of anything else sometimes. So, although I got the feeling I was going to really enjoy the jungle, there was also this intrepidation thing going on the whole time whereby you're thinking to yourself, wow, am I going to get through this? You know what I mean? Now, the rules of the jungle are simple. This is the rules of the jungle. It's monkey see, monkey do. And if monkey can't do, guess what? Monkey goes home, all right? That's it, bust, okay? So, everything you're going to do, they're going to teach you. They're going to show you. They're going to explain it to you. They're going to demonstrate it to you. All you've got to do is imitate what they've done. It's the classic EDIP, isn't it? Explain, demonstrate, imitate, practice. All right? So, you go through a series of exercises. Let's think, say, for instance, on navigation. They will show you how to navigation. They will take you out and navigate with you. They will show you navigation. They will take you out and navigate with you. They will then get to the stage where they think, right, he's good enough now, we'll let him out on his own. You will go out and you will do a NavX. We did a NavX where basically we went out and planted something. We came back, we wrote a patrol report. The other team went out and you sort of like switch destinations. So you go and get someone else's kit, bring that back, they go and get your bit, and it all works off the patrol report. So everything has purpose to it. That first 3 weeks, everything you are going to need for the final exercise, you are shown, taught, and practiced in, okay? Absolutely everything, whether it be a contact drill, whether it be the way you conduct yourself around the harbour area, whether it be navigation, the orders process, deliberate attacks, ambushes, everything you are likely to know. It's just soldiering. Now, I've often said this to people. There's no special soldiering. There's no sort of like swinging out of trees, and there's no sort of like black art to this stuff. It's basic soldiering, and it's done extremely well and to the letter. And everything you have to do is shown and demonstrated first. So with those thoughts in mind, if you're of the right mindset and all the other stuff isn't affecting you and you can apply yourself, you should be able to get through the training phase relatively easily, okay? All right, because everything you're expected to do, you've already been shown and practiced. So by the end of that 3 weeks, everything you need to know to progress onto a live exercise, all those skills are in the bank. There's nothing that you'll be asked to do in that next 3 weeks that hasn't been covered in the first 3 weeks. All right? So I've heard guys say before, oh, they never showed me that, or I failed because I didn't know how to do that. No. It's not true, is it? It's not true. If anyone ever tells you a story like that, all right, they're a liar. I'll just throw that out there for you, all right? If anyone ever tells you that They weren't shown something. They were asked to do something they didn't know how to do on selection, and they failed because of it. Liar. You're a liar. All right, that's it. Bust. Okay, that's simple. So let's bash a few myths around before we finish this as well. All right. So I personally felt really good about having that 3 weeks, and although there's a lot of hardships, the weather's always against you. I felt like I was soldiering properly. I felt I was learning stuff every day. And actually, for me, if I'm occupied, I'm busy, and I'm enjoying what I do, it doesn't feel like work at all. The hardship is outweighed by the fact that I was actually enjoying what I was doing, okay? And that's very important. And I think you could probably bluff for a week. You might be able to extend that bluff into 2 weeks. There's no chance you're bluffing by the time it gets to 3 weeks, all right? If you really can't cope, if you really can't handle it, you're going to get a tap on the shoulder and you're going to get asked to go home, all right? And that's it, simple, all right? So that will be identified. And you can't, that's the way, that's why selection is structured how it is. So that you can't hide away, so that you can't sort of like bluff your way, bluff your ticket. Once you're in the jungle, you're under intense pressure the whole time. And that first 3 weeks in particular, whilst you're training, even writing your patrol reports, you've got to hand these pristine troll reports in that you've written under a basher where you haven't had a proper wash for the entirety of the time you've been in there. It's a minging, stinking environment, literally right in a patrol club with medics gloves on, with a face mask to stop me breathing over the stuff and dropping water on it. Almost done at arm's length so that I don't drip anything on it. It was extremely tough, and that sort of stuff after a while is the sort of stuff that breaks you down. The soldiering side of it, if you're in the army and you enjoy soldiering, then who wouldn't want to go on the range with the SAS? Do you know what I mean? Who wouldn't want to be shooting guns and tearing around and doing all this cool alley stuff? Do you know what I mean? But you've got to accept that on the flip side of that coin, it's extremely difficult and extremely tough to operate in the jungle, and that's what gets to people. So that first 3 weeks, for me, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But I did see other people go through absolute misery. And, a lot of people, I'm injured, I'm going to have to go because my ankle's hurting. I think there was probably a little bit more than the ankle hurting. I think there might have been a sort of like little thing at the back of their mind saying, this isn't for you. This ain't for you. This is not where you want to be. All right. So anyway, I'm not going to diss anybody on here, but I did notice a couple of people that threw the towel in by, oh, my ankle's hurting. Everybody's ankle's hurting. Everybody's going through hardship. Everybody's not getting enough sleep and all the rest of the stuff. But yeah, you can tell. Do you know what I mean? You can tell. And at the end of that 3 weeks, if you are bluffing it, there's a good chance you're going to get caught out in the next 3 anyway, so you got no chance. Right. That said, we'll move on to the next 3 weeks next time. I hope you enjoyed this one. We're going to go back to the jungle next time I do it.